welcome to 3D Leisure Home with me, Gail. Going to be doing fitness classes for half an hour, working on your core strength, and hopefully you have a little bit of space, a mat and a drink of water. So we're just going to be working through different exercises, and if you just work within your means, if something feels too difficult, to give you options to make it easier or harder. And just concentrate on breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. So just going to start nice and grounded, and take a big deep breath in and breathe out through the mouth, reaching right up, stretching, nice long tall spine, lifting the top of the head, so sort of just stretching as if you're drawing up towards the ceiling here. And then reaching over, drop the head over and back, and the other side. In breath as we stretch through the fingers, out breath back, in breath and out. So we're just going to lift one knee and the arms on your in breath and out breath down. So nice and tall, getting your balance, focusing on little, like staring at the same point, so that it kind of gets the balance. If you start to look around, you'll probably wobble. And then from the front, we're going to lift. And then if you can, we're just going to balance and we're going to drop down. I haven't got much space here today, so just lifting. You can extend the arms forward if you wish, or the hands back. You can drop down as much as you wish, and nice and slowly control as you come back. The other side, we're going to lift, and then I'm probably going to pick the sofa. So we're just going to drop down, lengthen, hold, and just focus on that same point, and then nice and slowly bring it back down. So work with the space you have, guys. I haven't even got an exercise mat today, I'm just using a normal mat, so you can always use a little cushion if you haven't got any extra padding underneath the elbows when you're down in your plank. So we're just going to do like a little walk down, walk forward. Take a deep breath in, and nice and slowly just reach down, draw the belly button in as you come down to the floor, and then we're going to hang, drop the head, have the legs bent if your hamstrings are too tight, and then we're going to walk out into our plank position. So the belly button is pulling up, the head is forward, and we're just focusing on this tight belly button lifting up. And then in breath, lift one leg, out breath back. If this is too difficult, you can do this from the knees. You don't have to do it from the toes. So we're in breath and out, in breath and out. From here we're going to twist up. Again, you can do this with one knee on the floor and focus on the hips being level as you come back down without this bottom being up. So we're flat, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. One more time. Nice alignment of your hip and top as you reach. We're just going to stay here for a little second. If this is too hard, get that knee down onto the mat. Coming back down, and then on your next in breath up, and breathe naturally. Don't hold your breath. And then bring it back down and step back. So we're going to stretch the fingers out, reach to the front, and allow your body to get heavy. Elbows drawing into centre. And from there today we're going to go straight onto our knees. So we want to tuck the tailbone under, arms lifting, and as we breathe out we sink back. In breath we back up, out breath we sink back. Push your hips out to the front. So you want to feel these legs really working hard and we're not dropping back into a back bend. I'm pushing my hips forward and just keeping this nice long back. And then I'm going to stay back, so try and stay with me. Push your hips out to the front, chin up. And just hold. If you need to come out and have rest, come back in, you can do that. And then we're going to come back up. So just going to take that into a little stretch. Drop, allow your hip to drop down and just lift the chest. Get a stretch down the front of the thigh. And then I'm just going to focus, move your hand over to the middle and try focus on your breathing in through the nose, and as you breathe out you want to draw this heel towards your bottom. If you can't reach the bottom, don't worry about it, wherever you can. And if you do have good balance, then you can take 2 hands to drag this foot in. I'm going to let that foot go nice and slow. Swap sides. And lifting the chest, allowing the hip to stretch a little bit, and then increase it, move your hand, big deep breath in, out breath, draw. Make sure you still push down with your hip, and if you are doing 2 hands, you're lifting the chest and focus on your breathing still, so don't hold your breath, draw it in, let that foot go, and then we're going to sit into your C curl. So we want to be leaning back, arms out, hips up, and we lean back and we hold. So nice and tight on this belly button, chin is up. And then we're just going to do a tap, so out breath and in. So you're just going to reach and tap. So breathing out and in, out and in. So draw that belly button down, keep this tight squeeze on. And then have a little rest, lift, give a stretch on in breath, push your shoulders back, out breath, drop down, head down, arch the back, hips up, chin is always down. A couple of breaths here. Allow each vertebrae to open up on the stretch, feel it on the top of the back. In breath, we lift, and out breath, you drop your head down. And from there, we're going to lie down. So roll down slowly. So take a deep breath in, and as we roll, we come down slow, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then we're going to just rest the head, so lift your head, put it back down nice and flat so that the neck is nice and long. Going to take the legs up to 90, knees above your hips, feet in line with the knees. And then I'm going to lift. Now if you want to make it easier, you stay down. And we're going to just lift and squeeze. One leg in line with the other one, push up with the chest, in breath down. Out breath and in, out breath and in. If you're resting, just make sure that as you lift the leg, you really squeeze the tummy. And if you are up, you'll feel this tension on the core. Try and push rib to hip connection here. So your ribs, you're trying to push down. Still going nice and tight. And then we're going to lift 2 legs, and then we're going to try and reach around and tap. So breathe out and in, out and in. The legs can be slightly bent if you have tight hamstrings. Just twisting, reach and tap, reach and tap. And then I'm going to just take one leg down. So I'm going to have to move. So breathing out and breathing in. If I rest my head here and put my arms down, this will be a lot easier. And if I keep my head lifted, it'll be harder. So in breath and out. So work with the space you have, guys. In breath and out. in breath and out, and have a little rest and squeeze in. Knees nice and tight, give a little squeeze. And then we're just going to do that with the two legs. If it's too difficult, then stick with one leg. So the legs are up, chest is up, shoulders off the mat. And we're just going to do an in breath as we take the legs down, and out breath as we come up. So in breath and out. And if I start to squeeze towards the legs as the legs come up, with the elbows, this will increase this lift of the legs and a squeeze. So breathing out and breathing in. Now I'm now adding, taking my upper back down as I drop the legs, and out breath, squeeze and crunch. In breath and out. And again, you can do this with just the head rested and just do the legs. Or you can do upper body as well, making it a lot harder, and single legs if it's too hard. And bent legs if it's still too difficult, then just make it for you, whatever feels good. Squeezing, nice and tight. And from here, we're just going to take the legs up, and this time the legs are going to drop out. I'm going to flex my feet on the out and point my toes as I come up. If you rest, it'll just be working mostly outer thighs and more to the tummy you want to lift. So we lift. So out breath, I'm taking my back down to the floor. In breath, I squeeze again towards the legs. So breathing in and breathing out. Flex and point. Flex and point. So in breath and squeezing it out. In breath and out. Work to push those legs down and work to squeeze up. So in breath, and if you just wanted to do the legs, just keep your head rested on the floor. Last one. And then I'm going to lift, pulse it. Breathe out and in, out and in. Bending my toes back, I'm trying to reach above my toes. Reach to where you can. If you can't reach, just reach to where you can. Keep your chin up. Keep breathing. And hug. So I think we just have a little stretch. So we're going to lengthen the toes. Lengthen the fingers above your head. Push the small of the back down into the mat. And just get a nice imprint of your back onto your mat. So I'm going to just hook my hands underneath my knees to bring myself back up. And then we're going to do a little lift. So the hands are forward, and we're going to lift into a little bridge, tabletop. So just focus on pushing your feet into the floor. Lift your bottom up, flatten, draw the belly button up, push up through the shoulders. I'm looking down at my belly button. I'm going to hold this position. If it's too difficult, drop down to a comfortable position and just ease up slowly. If you wish to make this a little bit harder, guys, come up onto the toes on out breath and in breath down. So breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. My ankles are giving a nice little crack as I come up here. Breathing out and in, and then just hold. Keep pushing. Great for stretching out the shoulders, the chest. Hold. Rest and come back in if it's too hard. And then drop back down. So you should really feel that across like upper body. We're going to come back onto the elbows on the mat. Lengthen the toes. Nice long legs. Push the legs into the mat. Get the legs active. Draw this belly button down now, guys. Keep a little space between your chin and your chest. And then we're going to slide forward with the arms and hold. If this is too much, come down, come up and down. And if it's still too difficult, then you might want to just stay. So if you're still holding, you're doing good. Tummy down, chin up, hold this position. And then we're going to give a little stretch. We're going to come down, you're just going to lift the legs. You're going to follow your toe. So follow the toe. Try and have straight legs. Out breath as you lift. In breath down. So out breath, try and get further back so you get the stretch. And back. Breathe out and in. Out and in. And back into hold. Squeeze in extra tight. Point your toes, fingers long. Rest. Breathe out and in. And then we're going to come up, going to give a little stretch again. Squeeze back the shoulders. And drop down. Out breath. In breath, lift, squeeze. Out breath. So good. I love this stretch. In breath, squeeze. And out breath. Hold. Add a little stretch. And then we're just going to go back to the C curl and add in your arms. So we're just going to scissor the arms up, try and get the elbows up in line with the ears. So you come back to position. The lower you come back here, the harder this will be. Roll your hips up. And then we're going to go in breath and out. In breath and out. In breath. Higher up will be easier. Lower down is harder. In breath and out. Keeping the chin up. In and out. Tight belly button, squeeze it. Keep the arms going. Keep the belly button squeezing extra tight. And rest. So we're going to come down on our side into our little elbow plank. So you need a little bit of padding underneath your elbow. You can double up your mat. Make sure you have space if you need to turn side on. Then feel free to do that. Get the position of choice on your side plank. So either knee on the floor to the left, one foot in front, or one foot on top and lifting. So we're holding this arm up. The hand can be on the hip if you prefer. We want to breathe in, down, breathe out, up. So in breath and out. In breath and out. In and out. So nice and slow. On the lift, you push up. Make sure that you're holding the belly button extra tight and the hips are on top of one another and the arm at the top is back in line above your other shoulder. I'm going to hold up, just hold, my mat is sliding, and rest. So we're going to change onto the other side, and again, work to either knee on the floor, foot in front or foot on top, lift, hold. Then in breath down, out breath up. In breath and out. In and out. Nice and high. Breathing in, breathing out. In and out. Keep holding up. High hip. Knee on the floor if this hip is dropping down. Keep holding. And roll over onto your stomach. So elbow plank, belly button up, toes down, lift. Too difficult, if it is, you take your knees to the floor and hold. So I'm going to ride forward onto toes, push back through the heels, and if you notice the body is nice and flat, so I'm not having my bottom up. And I'm just sliding from your toes, back through the heels, in breath and out. In breath and then rest. Arms on the floor, elbows down, forearms, toes extended long. Draw back the forearms, lift your chest, try and rest, relax off your glutes. So we're pushing the shoulders back, drawing the arms as if you're coming back to the waist. And then I'm going to come down, take the hands out a bit wider and push up and lift and squeeze. Get this added a little stretch, come up to where you're comfortable. You can have your bent arms. Just give a little stretch, shoulders back. Create space between the top of the ears and your shoulders, so don't lift your shoulders up. Squeeze them back and back to centre. And then you're going to come down nice and slow. So you're going to turn the toes down, hands back, lift into your downward dog. I'm going to move this carpet over so it doesn't slide. And then out breath and in. Out breath, we're just paddling the feet. And nice and slowly, just push down the heel on one side. Stay down with one foot. Push that foot down and push the opposite hand forward. Breathe through the stretch, drop your head. We're going to change sides. In breath, come up onto the toes. Out breath, push down through the other side. Push opposite hand and foot. So the foot is on the floor. You push through the other hand. And then we're going to come up onto the toes. And then we're going to lift the belly button up and roll up. Roll right over and back into your plank. From here, you want to drop down. So if it's easier to take it from your knees on the floor, you can do that. We're keeping the elbows close to the body and we breathe out as we drop nice and low. And then extend the toes and in breath, push back. Coming back down, turn the toes down, push back up into your downward dog. Couple of breaths here, guys. Next in breath, come up onto the toes, roll over into your plank, and then again on your out breath, bring it down nice and slow, extend your toes, push back, have a couple of breaths here, and squeeze. Nice to stretch out the core. Then I'm going to come back onto my side, lying down, and I want you to take the arm that's on the floor onto your shoulder, the hand that's in front on the mat. The further back to the waist it comes, the more of a push up you'll get, more effort into the crunch. So if the hand is forward, it's easier. Legs are long, so make sure your body is in a nice straight line from your shoulder, hip and toes. So we don't want the legs forward. And then we push on out breath. So we lift. So you lift, squeeze, and in breath down. Out breath, and in. So out breath, push, in breath down. So really work here. And if you want to make this a little bit harder, guys, just lift this leg as you come up, and in breath down, out breath, and in. Out breath, lift, so you can lift the foot or not. I'm going to hold up here, hold and breathe, and then I'm going to just bring the hand down and swivel round onto the other side. So again, the hand that's on the ground comes onto your shoulder. Check the position of your legs, nice and good alignment. hand further back to make it harder. We breathe out and we breathe in. So we really want to work on this twist, working your obliques into the waist. And if you want to add in that leg, just go for the lift. Nice and slow. And again, you can just do the upper body if you wish. Hold on that squeeze, breathe, feel the crunch in the waist. And then we're going to just rest, so bring that hand down. So we're going to do a little 90-90 legs. Body, hands round, breathe in, lift the chest and push down with the hip. If you wish to come lower, come down onto the elbows. Breathe here, a couple of breaths, and if you wish to come all the way down for a bigger stretch, then just bring your head down. I've got both arms on top of one another. And if I don't have enough of a stretch here, then I can move back a bit with my arms to allow a bigger stretch down the waist. My feet is on your outer thigh. And nice and slowly we bring it up. Swap the legs to the other side. Arms over to the back, to the side. Lift the chest. And out breath, I push down with my hip. If you want to come all the way down, guys, elbows or rested, then just try and relax on your out breath, body getting heavier. And then we're going to come back up and we're going to lie down. Again, roll down. Now we want the legs to be like toes together in a diamond. So we lie down and then we just push up. Out breath and in. Out breath and in. Legs lifted. We'll make this a little bit harder. And bringing the elbows and knees together and extending out will make it more difficult. So breathing out, breathing in, breathing out and in. Out breath and in. And give a little squeeze. Just squeezing back. Time has gone so quick. Just going to come up for our final one. Going to take the legs up. You've been practicing this one. Take the legs out. Hold the chest up. Breathe in, legs together. Breathe out, lift the chest, squeeze the feet. So in breath and out. In breath and out. In breath, just hold, final stretch. And then you're going to lie down, take the legs back, push to get the stretch on the inner thighs. Keep pushing. Bring the legs in, drop the feet down, drop the knees to one side. Press, look away from your knees. Other arm out in line with your shoulder. Changing sides. Drop the knees, look away. Press. If you don't feel enough of a stretch, bring the knees up further towards your shoulder. Press down. And feel the stretch of the outer thigh, up your spine. And from there, we're going to just bring the knees in. Bring yourself up. Cross the legs to the front, sitting comfortable. Add extra stretch for the spine. Hand on, opposite. Hand behind, in breath, lift, out breath, twist. If this hurts your neck, keep your head side on. Keep twisting, push that shoulder back. Try and look over that shoulder. Change sides, in breath, lift, out breath, twist. Breathe through your stretching. Coming back for our next stretch, head over. Fingers or palm, pushing down and out breath into the mat. And changing sides, pushing down. And then big deep breath in, guys. And breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Last in breath and out. And thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back next week for Fat and Extreme. Go on, have a fabulous weekend, and just make sure you have a drink now and enjoy. Thanks. Bye.